So my name is Jenny White. I'm a relationship coach and therapist. I show women how to create fulfilling relationships, how to really dive deep into their femininity, become more feminine, and setting their standards and boundaries and their needs with confidence. And obviously then create also intimacy that is really deep and meaningful. So that's what I do. I niche down with you, right? So we got that right. I got that nearly right with my one-liner. So that's what I do.
Yeah, we know each other a while before you decided to join the academy. What made you enter the gates of the academy?
Evan, first of all, you really care, do you? You really, really care. So first of all, what makes the academy stand out? First of all, people. It's not that you are like with thousands and thousands of people and they give you like just one program fits all. And then you get lost because often we need direction. I'm a person, I need direction. I need to somebody have a look at my stuff, at my online business and say, hey, Jen, you can actually refine on that little bit and that little bit. This is not working. This is working. These are your strengths. These are your weaknesses. And people. It's not that you pop in my inbox and say, hey, do you want to, I'm the best business coach you can get. You are actually really get to know people. And that's so much different. And that's rare as chicken teeth, isn't it?
I think you should adapt the business to your personality and the business to the lifestyle you want to lead. I know you invested in previous programs and sometimes it felt a bit too generic. So I actually love what you said, like you can still be yourself and build a business being you instead of just being I have scripts and worksheets, but they're like flexible, that you don't become like a robot and just like a script machine and a copy of a copy of a copy, right?
Right, absolutely. Because it's like, sometimes we enter programs and we think they have to be big, right? You pay money and you think they have to have lots of videos, lots of activities that it makes it worth it. And that's not the truth. You get lost. Almost, it's like you get completely lost in a forest and you don't know how to get out. That's how it feels. And you have that a lot. So I invested in business programs before. I thought, yeah, brilliant, I do it. And then you have to watch like hundreds of hours of content and have to filter through because there's so much and you can't navigate through them. And I'm a person, I absorb it all and then I don't know where to start, right? This is interesting. Should I start there? Should I start? And then you get lost and you can get lost there for months, literally, and you're not moving forward. And that's not the case with you, isn't it? And that's not the case with you because you are.
Yeah, I always try to make my videos and lessons short if I can. You're actually like an A student because you went, and most people can do it if they spend like 3 hours, 4 hours in a week. You went through an entire client closer content vault, because as you said, it's not about gathering information. It's about getting the essential things, putting it out there. And that's why I'm so happy that I have enough backings with accountability and getting feedback, because it's not just endless information. It's not just printing the worksheets. It's actually getting feedback, being held accountable, and have a whole process to implement the separate things, right?
Yeah, you're not just a picture, right? You are involved in it. You're not just the brand, which can happen to a lot of business coaches. You know your people. That's what you do. So when I enter bigger programs, often it is you get lost as a person. So you feel nobody really gets your brand. So before I was like, this is me, this is my brand, this is what I do. And you understand me. You understand me not only on my brand level, you know me as a person, right? Because it's our brand, our business is an extension of who we are. And if you don't know the person behind that brand, you can get lost. You can create a brand with them that doesn't reflect who they are, which then ends for you as a person who runs your own brand and frustration. You become generic. And I like it that you don't want that people become generic, that they're really truthful to who they are. That's really, really important.
Because I remember that you said like, oh my God, Phil, it's amazing what you do, but I invested in a multi-$1,000 program.
Yeah.
What eventually decided you to invest? Like, yeah, I want Phil by my side in the academy, because you already were in a sales program.
It's a connection, isn't it? I told you, you're my people. Because, yeah, it is. Because you show people who you are. It's not like, oh, I'm different in my brand than to the person I am. So congruence. Not saying that, the business program I invested before is not congruent, but it is more like really showing people who you are, what you are standing for. And then you can connect. You need to connect to your people. You need to connect to somebody who's interested in you, right? As a person saying, hey, what you're doing, I can help you. And also it's not just like, okay, goodbye, and you'll never be in touch again. So it's not, don't drop people like hot potatoes, isn't it?
Yeah, you told me that sometimes you had these things like make that. I mean, we worked already on your messaging, positioning, your content. You also got the deep dive business audit. Maybe some people who ever want that, you could share a bit about that. But you also said like, listen, they're pushing me towards something that makes me the most money and use that, because that will make you a lot of money, which is good to make a lot of money. But you didn't feel like completely in line with that kind of approach.
Yeah, it's not when we make the goal money the goal, you will compromise yourself. That's not what I'm a relationship coach. I'm not standing for that, right? So for me, congruence is really, really important. So you can't just say, oh, I want to in 12 months, I want to earn this and this money. Of course, you do the settings. You have like a monetary goal, but it's not your main goal. It's understanding who you become on that journey. Who are you really? Where are your strengths? Where are your weaknesses? And it's often also holding you back then for marketing yourself properly. Either you don't market yourself because you think, heck, I have to make 120,000 US dollars by the end of the year, because that's maybe your goal. Or lots of people they freeze. I know a lot of entrepreneurs, they just freeze. I was in that mindset too, where you feel you can't move forward. You don't want to go back. You don't want to give up. And now you freeze. And then you don't do anything. That's the worst part, I think. Feeling stuck. That's the worst part. So you get actually people unstuck. That's what you do.
Yeah, and you want to ask yourself, is the mission you're on, the position you're on, is it sustainable? We're all like a work in progress. That's fine. And some people in the big programs, I get it. I mean, sometimes money is the best way to show that it brings results and brings a return on investment. It's the most direct one. So some programs like, I want you to make the investment back as fast as possible, which is good. But when that becomes betraying your brand or your goal, or on a mission that you're just a copy and you don't feel it's an extension of you, it can be more draining and less sustainable to build a business that way. You can do both, by the way, like making an impact, 10K plus months, life-changing, high-ticket offer. It's one of the elements in the Client Closer Academy. But building your magnetic brand, that confidence in yourself, your offer we talked a lot about it, those wanna fuck sales mosquitoes, wall of texting your inbox. You want to find an approach that is you, that is human, that is caring, that is curious, speaking your truth, finding your mission, and finding something that aligns with how you see yourself developing and how you see your business developing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you can do this. Often what happened to me is that I lost the words or my thoughts of how I can communicate what I'm doing. Yeah. You think you are value. How do you communicate that? Often we get lost. We can maybe sell other people's products tremendously well, and then it comes to your own stuff, and now what? It's really, really interesting. Either we become very defensive, right? About, but I love that so much. Yeah, but can you bring it across? Actually, how do you bring it across to people? And we done that very quickly. Within a month, we actually clarified that very, very quickly. Whereas I know entrepreneurs who stuck for months and months and months and months and months, or years, because they don't know that this is actually foundation. Your niche is your foundation.
Yeah, and I think 3 elements are important if you ever, I mean, in the end, we're in the results industry, right? We want to put the power in people, right? I want to make myself progressively more unnecessary, because I still remember that you sometimes felt like I'm just following things, but I'm losing my voice, or I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. So it's always like teamwork that way. But I think the powerful programs are programs who work a bit long term. That's why I make the Client Closer Academy 6 months at least, because it takes time to figure yourself, your offer, your niche, your positioning out. Trust me, most people don't get to 10K plus months in just a month, let alone 3 months. You need the personal feedback, implementing and getting the personal feedback, and then just the accountability that you can, stay on track with the highs and lows. And I think those elements, combined with nice dominoes of everything when it comes to attracting ideal clients, making your offer, having people say yes on a sales call, then you have all the dominoes. Because I know I invested in myself. It's nice, but it's one domino that you become a master at storytelling, or you have a great offer, or one domino is super powerful, but the other dominoes, pre-qualification, the content, your niche, overcoming objections is not there. And then you can have this false empowerment of being a master in one domino, but it doesn't move the other dominoes. So there's clients coming in, you have enough conversation with potential clients, they hop on a call, people say yes, and then like, okay, I have a whole pipeline from A to Z that is again sustainable, right?
Yeah, and it makes totally sense. And it's like you're not on your own too, isn't it? You have your messenger chat box. So it's not like here are the videos and goodbye, right? We see each other once a month or something.
Yeah, maybe you can explain a bit people what's included. Like, always love it when other people explain a bit like what's in it. Yeah.
Of course, I was in previous, let's compare quickly. I was in previous programs where you have maybe where you see your accountability partner or advisor for once a month. Then you have maybe different group activities you can join in, but there are like thousands or hundreds of people on that call, and you maybe have to book hot seats or anything like that. And what's so brilliant is that you have actually, so included is, first of all, that we have an accountability session each week, which is great. It's like we get stuff literally done, and it's not that they dictate to you and say, this is what we do today to get you clients. It's all generic. It's really, you decide out of all the programs, the pre-recorded stuff you have to build your niche, how to really hold conversations, how to really put your message out. You can work on this in a group, because if you have questions, you can ask questions straight away in that session. Or there's a messenger box, chat box, where you can say, hey, I'm feeling stuck, can I have some feedback? And you can get feedback either from an accountability advisor, or from Phil, or from anybody who is a member of that group, which is great. So you have people looking at it from different angles. So you don't feel like you have to wait another month to get some feedback and keep fingers crossed that you've done just the right thing, and not have to redo it again because you got feedback after a month time that, oh yeah, that's great, but it's not really there. And then you are like, oh heck, I start all over again. And then you are like that hamster in a hamster wheel of doom, running like crazy and think, oh, the clock is ticking. How do I make money? How do I get clients? It's really, really important. So there's a lot of support, and not overwhelming. It's not too much. It's the right balance.
Yeah, that's also what I think. Like, we have a mastermind call every week.
Yeah.
I'm also super excited that now I added like tech talks with, if you have tech talks or tools issues, I also have another person in my team, because I think it's first getting, the right information, then getting worksheets that are practical to the point. My rule of 3, I try to simplify, clarify, simplify, and help you implement. Then it's about the accountability, that you can regularly show up. But I can give you all the tools, I can give you the information, I can give you the workshop, I can give you the accountability, give you the implementations, give you the room for feedback. But then it's up to you to make use of it, because I can give you all the tools, but if you don't show up consistently or work with it, then it just becomes another online course that so few people seem to like finish. Files gathering dust, you not focusing on it, you not committing to it. So you will get out of it what you put into it and how much you show up consistently. But I tried to provide everything that's essential without being overwhelming, to have like, hey, if you commit to this for 6 months, you're going to get a lot of clarity, a lot of feedback, and a lot of momentum with a lot of awesome people in the academy.
Absolutely. And you meet so many other people, and it's you don't have to be ashamed to ask questions. Yeah, I'm a cave woman in a spaceship in regards to technology, isn't it? I don't mind. Nobody's laughing at you and think, hey, you should know that. It doesn't matter. I mean, I'm self-employed now since January 2017. So I'm a little bit longer in that game. So you don't have to be necessarily a newbie.
Yeah.
So you totally benefit from it, because you have to always go back to your foundation, niche down, look at your avatar, get feedback, have a look, because social media is changing all the time anyway. So yeah.
And that's also what I invested in 7 or 8 mentors by now. And sometimes I was like, oh, I'll know everything about marketing and sales, but there's always something to learn. You can learn from the approach. You can learn even from the teaching. You can learn from their offer. So sometimes it's not only about the thing that you invest in. You can also see how it's structured, about the teaching, about the coaching. So there's always something to learn,
And there's no fluff too. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
So Phil is a non-fluff person, which is great. I like fluffiness. Don't forget, I like all this shiny stuff too, but we have to really hone down on the basics, and then build up, and then really have a look. So if you want somebody who's really knows you, really is a non-fluff person, and doesn't give you like a generic answer, because sometimes you get, look, you need to do, if you want to get people and you need to do this, and it's a generic answer, and you think, yeah, but how do I do this? So you are a very practical person. Do you really give these examples?
You don't get a generic answer. You can get a Jenny-eric answer.
Yeah, I know. It's just really focused on that, and I think a lot of us miss that. So if you are ever in any programs and think, that's great, but tell me how, and Phil tells you how.
Yeah, because I love information. You know that I'm an information architect by gathering so much information, but I also had like mentors and it was useful, but I really saw all those documents there and making summaries and then just thinking about it, working a little bit with it, but never committed to it, or feeling overwhelmed, or always changing topic. That I just realized, like, yeah, you can have a high ticket offer with a lot of value, because in the end, it's not about the hours of videos and hours of docs that you provide. It's about having people get small wins, getting feedback, moving forward. So I was like, instead of offering more, what if I offer less that is more practical, implementable, and give them the support to make that answer to those worksheets unique to them, Yeah,
absolutely. And you practice what you preach. That is rare on the market. People are very great at branding themselves, and then you go and you think, great. So people who give you generic answers often do this because that's what they only know, the generic stuff. You actually practice what you preach. You do this. So it's not, you have here somebody who's not just like telling you and giving you a generic answer. That you are telling people what to do and how to do it, and not just like generic answer. And now you have to find out the magic source yourself, and you are getting lost then again and frustrated. And often business people or entrepreneurs give up because give up too early because they don't know how. They have not come across a person who said, okay, I got you where you are. I understand your business. This is where you are. This is what you need to do. This is the next step. That's the reason why the deep dive session, I think it's a must. People need to book that with you. It's a must, Phil. It's like, absolutely. My brain was going like literally for a whole week. Like for a whole week, I was like, oh my gosh. Because often we think, yeah, we got it. Because we got so blind to doing the same thing all over again. And then Phil comes and said, why don't you do this? And you think, oh, heck yeah, of course I need to do this. Why have I not done that? So
yeah, sometimes you can't see the milestones to the forest. And for me, like working with so many people, like that's something that I also offer if people want a personal guidance of me or something to set them up with the right focus. You can have that deep dive business audit with me, and then a strategic roadmap, because then I show you like in all the elements, when the niche, the content, the branding, the overcoming objections, creating your offer, maximizing client fulfillment, all those things, the elements. And we look at how much they are implemented and where there's rooms for improvement. And then we map it out step by step in a totally doable way, not like work 9 hours on this. I always look for that it's like achievable. And then you see like, oh, here are the gaps, or here are the milestones, or here I can improve. And it's like, oh yeah, of course, you know.
Yeah, it's easy. It's not undoable, because sometimes you think, oh my gosh, in certain programs you think, oh my gosh, all of this, and then you give up because you can't see yourself achieving that, because it's so big, you're so overwhelmed that you think, oh, done. And it's so sad, because there are so many great business entrepreneurs out there, so many great entrepreneurs out there. You are maybe more creative like me. It's like, oh, this is great, and so Phil really it takes you down for a minute. You ground the people, and then you break that down in these achievable steps.
I just love that people, like, for me, that's the best feeling when my clients have like wins and they can implement things. And you want to ask yourself in a course, when you can immediately do something like, oh my God, yeah, this didn't take forever, and you implement it. It just gave a little bit of boost, like, yes, instead of working on these very big projects or putting all your energy in this, like managing in actionable, achievable steps, like, okay, do this, make your intake form, do this, you know, set this up, change your bio. And then it's like, okay, cool. It's manageable instead of perfectionist, like micromanaging all the details, which is just the icing on the cake, but not really the fundamentals, right?
Yeah, and you let people be their own person. You know, it's vital that you not only become one personality. I can't do, you know, it's not that you look like generic like everybody else. You are not perfect. You only have to use perfect language, or you can't stand up for certain things. Now you have to people please, hey, right? So it's really, really important. So it's because we forget sometimes in business that we are a person. We get often lost because we think we need to create that kind of brand, and then you get lost in your own message. You get lost because you think you have to copy now somebody else's stuff.
Yeah, and this is why I love to create, I call them rebels with a cause, because a lot of times, and I'm also guilty of it, people with integrity, they often hide the most in the shadows, or they're afraid of standing up. And I think the voice of those people is the most powerful, because they practice what they preach. So if I can help them take personal responsibility, speak their truth, their unique voice, and then make an impact, because in the end, it's not about them with people in integrity. It's first like being an example and then teaching other people. I think that's what the world needs right now, and not all the marketeers with the great packaging, or people with little integrity, or just spammy stuff, because they dominate the marketplace. But they have one plus thing, is like they're willing to be disliked. They're willing to go for it. They're willing to put themselves out there. So if we would have more rebels with a cause, with integrity, who actually are not afraid of the limelight and speak their truth, we could give a lot more positive examples of life-changing things. That for me is like change, helping people make better decisions in an ethical, in a caring, in a curious way, because we need that, because that is what sales for me is about. Becoming enthusiastic about offering someone a better future. And I'm disappointed by some people who invest a lot of money in scammy things that look good on the surface, you know. So that's why I'm also passionate with these people with a mission, a unique voice, integrity, but they're not speaking their truth and putting themselves out there enough.
Yeah, and that's true. You gave me my passion back, actually.
Yeah,
that's true. I'm not just saying that. That's true, because often we get lost. We think we compare ourselves. It's so easy to compare yourself to somebody who's in this business for 10 plus years or something, and they're super successful. And we all know, it doesn't matter what niche you are, and you all know these superheroes in there. But did they maybe lose their passion? Some of them maybe, because they do the same thing again. So we can't sell our soul to a certain amount of money, or to a machine we created. And because it's successful, we feel like we can't change, or we can't be ourselves, and now we have to become that brand. So our brand takes over who we are instead of vice versa, right?
This is why I love personality so much. Ask yourself, like, what kind of compliment hits you the most? Your compliment hits you the most when you feel like, yes, that's me. That's my strength. That's something I'm good at. So when people get complimented, they make an impact, they make a difference in something like this is something that I was meant to do. It just hits home a lot harder than just like getting a compliment from something genetic that's not uniquely you, you know? So this also is just like the mindset of letting that people pleasing conformist go and realizing you have a unique talent, a unique gift, and some people need to hear it. And the first person who needs to hear it is you to go for it. You know, if someone wants to go for the Client Closer Academy, who would you advise the Client Closer Academy for?
Oh my gosh, for any business who is really has some integrity. If you're not here only for the money, listen, if you're not here only for the money, if you started your business pure, not as out of desperation because you were fed up with your job, but it was something that you're passionate about, Phil is your person. There's no foo-foo stuff. And we all get lost, right? Sometimes we think, oh, it's our passion. So because we really struggle then and think, oh gosh, what I'm passionate about or what I'm standing for, what I want to achieve, it's impossible. Go see Phil. If you want to make quick money, it's like, don't. It's just, of course, all the stuff you learn there, you can have success very, 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 very quickly. But if it's not really deeply rooted in who you are.
Yeah, of course, I'll love to get people to those 10K plus months. That's one thing that I would love to aim. Why? Because then they can make a bigger impact, of course. But I see a lot of people just not speaking their truth and not making a difference and not showing a unique perspective. So besides seeing my clients get to those 10K plus months, what also is something like, yes, there's another person with a strong message, waking up people, helping them see different perspectives, making a difference. And that's how I can have my change agents being there all around the world, you know, and that's also what I'm passionate about, besides, of course, the money. But for me, the money is just a way to make an impact, not the end goal in itself.
Yeah. And this is different. This is different. This is really a lot different to what other people might brand themselves this way, but they're not this way. So this is why I'm saying you are actually practicing what you preach. And it's possible, definitely. It's definitely possible. I mean, I do this for a longer period of time. I'm really, really happy that I'm one of these people who are still here with my business. But definitely it doesn't matter if you just started. If you just started, you're very lucky that you came across Phil. Yeah. Go for it. Definitely go for it. You're very, very lucky. Congratulations that you watched that. You're very lucky. Go for it. Definitely. And that comes from absolutely from my heart. And I will be held, you know, credible for that. I'm really held responsible for that. Go book it, because that's the best foundation you can have, right? So it's no fluff. It's no like singing, dancing, shining unicorns and fairies and glitter bombs going off. Of course, it's a beautiful program. It makes totally sense and builds up on itself. So definitely go for it. If you are a person who got a little bit lost, maybe your entrepreneurial journey got a little bit stale, you feel like, I don't know where to go, book it too, because guess what? You think you got the foundation right? Let's start again. So it's really wherever you are in this world, even if you are having your 10K plus month, right? Yeah. Go for it too, because then you can actually refine, have somebody who really understands your business or wants to understand your business, and go forward.
Yeah, that's both if you're a beginner and you want to have the foundation straight, or you want to optimize and scale your team, because that's what I'm passionate about right now, you know, with people working for me in the academy right now. Then you can scale, which is doing more of what you love to do and less of what you don't like to do in your personal life and in your business. So if you want to see where the optimization is and you can free up more time, make more money, hire people, that's the next level in business. When you're just setting up your business, that's also the thing for growth. That's also what I love for you, developing your team. I think you would be awesome in it, you know, and then, yeah, you can really make a bigger impact without necessarily working more hours or enslaving you, because I know some people who always want to make 5, 6, 7, 8 figures. Yes, but in the end, it's also about the lifestyle and the thing you want to leave behind, and also with integrity. Like, am I just making money and burning myself out and telling people to do something that I'm not doing anymore? It's always going first and practicing what you preach. If people want to, independent, curious, caring, confident, independent women want to learn how to stand in their queen, become more feminine, have true intimacy with themselves and with their partner, and learn how to communicate their needs and boundaries in a confident way. Where can they check out more about you?
Yeah, so I'm mainly on Facebook. Of course, I'm also on Instagram. Strong Heart Awakening. If you type that in, Strong Heart Awakening by Jennifer White, that's me. And of course, I have a group, and I just renamed it to make it, thanks to you. Yeah. It's called Feminine Magnetism, Create Relationships Like a Queen. So you can drop in as a free group, and we go from there. And of course, just reach out via DM or reach out via jenny@strongheartawakening.com. That's my email address.
Check it out. I would also highly recommend her with someone who's also caring, but also no fluff, and has a strong message with a strong heart. I'm super happy to have you in my network, and as one of my recent besties, as a person, as a business owner, and as a friend. So can't wait to see your success and to celebrate more with you and the awesome people in the Client Closer Academy.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
The Client Closer Academy. Learn how to consistently enroll clients and join a community of fellow free thinkers who value personal responsibility, speaking their truth, and making an impact. Find out more at clientcloser.com/academy.